bombasted Austin Scott.
How would you remember all the names of the kids in the family?
Mike has really done good work over there. That's good stuff. Here's Searfoss back. Searfoss going to throw down, and that's almost intercepted. Pass intended down there for Smolzinski. And Shane Fletcher.
Guess who gets the pressure on the quarterback?
He's the younger brother of Del Rico Fletcher, who went to Rutgers for a while, played the 1996 championship game for Woodland Hills against Downingtown.
Was it just say Yezevich?
It was Yezevich. That is
was
correct.
Inevitable, wasn't it? 16 seconds to go.
Couldn't help it. It's been a whole half.
Now they're putting Austin Scott to the top of your screen at a wide receiver. We'll see if they just kind of try and throw the home run and see what Searfoss has. But Woodland Hills is rushing him, and they're going to throw him out of bounds up near the 47-yard line. 4 seconds, he stays in bounds, and that should do it for the first half, and that's it.
Wonderful, wonderful job by Kashif Henderson in the penetration. We'll see him come into the picture right about now.
He flushes about, and then Murray chases him down, and Searfoss running for his life, and there's Murray, just says, come on over here.
And that'll do it for the end of the first half here, 13-12. Well, a couple of big plays in this game. A 61-yard run on the game's first play by Austin Scott, a 68-yard touchdown pass from Selman to Justin Oliver, and Austin Scott a 14-yard run to give Parkland the 1-point lead. Scores, highlights, stats, all of that good stuff. More with Mike Conti, and we're back after this.
You're watching PIAA Championship Football exclusively on PCN, Pennsylvania's championship network.
Be a part of the action. PIAA is actively seeking individuals.
The seal down on the corners to get him to the sideline. Since then, Woodland Hills has done a pretty good job of adjusting to a lot of what Parkland likes to do. They have had trouble with the fullback trap there on first down, but you know, Woodland Hills came back really nicely after the goal line stand earlier. But what speed is out there on that field tonight? It's just fantastic.
And speaking of speed, Kevin, Ryan Mundy had that big punt return for a touchdown to give Woodland Hills slightly to that point. Mundy's a very special player. To talk about his first half and the first half for Woodland Hills.
Well, they got a scare on that pass play. They threw a flag pattern to him and he got injured. It looked like, you know, there was a scare that he might be injured, he might be out for a little while. He did set out a few plays. He comes back, returns that punt for a touchdown. He's got that fantastic speed. You know, kind of one of those kind of guys, if he's on defense, he can close. On offense, and that type of play, he can go up and jump up for the ball, or in a punt return, he can take it to the bag. So he's one of those kind of guys, like you said, a very special player, very exciting player.
Rod, we have seen some really great Quad A finals the last couple of years here. Of course, the CB West Erie Prep sequence in 2000, a great game. How do you think this game is stacking up to some of those real classics that we've seen here in the Quad A?
Well, I don't see this game as much as any game ever topping CB West and Erie Prep, the overtime game. But this really has a lot of tension to it. The build-up is moving along as the game goes on. There's really been no letdown in this game, even after Scott's opening touchdown. We could be having a classic on our hands here. This second half is really a lot to look forward to.
Kevin, George Novak brought a big team here. They're in the halftime locker room right now. What does Coach tell them, and what do they have to do to get back in the game?
Well, you know, Coach Novak's not a rah-rah guy, but I'm sure he's making some halftime adjustments. You know, like you said, the traps, the problems that they're having on first down, they're going to try to seal those. The linebackers have been very good in pursuit. I think they're going to try to get some big plays offensively and see if they can take, you know, get a lead here. One of the big keys, I'm sure they're probably saying, hey, let's make that conversion when we do score a touchdown, whether it's an extra point or 2 points. Let's get there and let's get the lead.
Real quick, this is the final high school football game of the year. Rod, talk about this season. What do you think is the biggest story that you followed this year?
I think the biggest story this year has been Scott with his 3,600 yards. He broke the existing single-season rushing record by more than 500 yards coming into this game. Granted, that was after 14 games. James Mungro did it in 13 games. But he's gone over 400 twice this year, over 300, several more times than that. I think he has to be the story of the season.
And Kevin, in Western PA, there have been some great stories too.
Oh, there's been plenty of great stories, but I think one that's kind of paralleled Austin Scott is the return of Chris Morgan. Here's a kid, had a lot of promise as a sophomore, injured his knee, missed his entire junior year, and he's been the catalyst for the Woodland Hills offense this season. It's really nice to see the kid come back, have a career year. He's set a single-season school record for rushing yards, and, you know, it's been half as much as Austin Scott, but it's still a great year for Chris Morgan for Woodland Hills.
Should be a great second half. Kevin Gorman, Pittsburgh Tribune Review, Rod Frisco, Harrisburg Patriot News. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the off-season, I guess.
Thanks very much, Mike.
13-12 at halftime. Parkland on top. Let's get first half highlights now with Gary Sutton and Steve Bowen.
And back upstairs here in the press box where it's not much warmer, we've got some great highlights. In fact, the whole first half was a highlight film, potentially the whole half. And the first one was maybe the biggest run of the game, the opening run by a young man named Austin Scott, 61 yards from the line of scrimmage. Watch this. Gets by and into the secondary, and Steve, he's off to the races.
First play of the game, and I didn't say anything because I was in shock. I watch it here on the highlights. I'm still having trouble describing it. He is a special running back.
Well, it looked pretty good in that opening play, but then Woodland Hills did a nice job of starting to shut Scott down, and never better than on the goal line, where we saw a guy named Yezevich step in there and lead the charge to stop him on 4th down and goal to go, and a big play in the first half.
An outstanding defensive stand by the entire team. A great individual play by Yezevich.
And Woodland Hills had their moments on the other side. You see Justin Oliver on a play that you called after not accepting perhaps accepting a penalty. Would have been 4th down, throwing down to Justin Oliver from Selman, and Oliver takes it into the end zone for a big score to tie this one up.
Great concentration and good speed after the catch.
Ryan Mundy, an outstanding player and a great punt returning. You see it right here as Mundy takes it at the 50, takes a look upfield. You see it from the end zone, and here he comes, and he's not going to stop until he crosses the goal line. Ryan Mundy, one of the best two-way players in the entire United States.
Patience for the first 10 yards, Jets for the last 40.
Parkland went dead for a while, but they got some life toward the end of the half, and it was number 33, Austin Scott, doing it one more time. Watch his burst of speed. Breaks a tackle, gets to the corner quickly, and then just kind of takes a quick jaunt into the end zone as he puts Parkland up here at halftime, 13-12. And we've got some good look at the stats here at the halftime as well, Steve.
And it'll be interesting to see what we come up with in terms of team statistics. First downs, pretty even. Rushing yards, Parkland 152, Woodland Hills 109. Passing, Parkland 41, Woodland Hills 86. Dead even, as you'd expect in a one-point game. And individually, Scott, 14 rushes, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Searfoss, 3 for 4 for 41 yards. Over for Woodland Hills. Morgan, 14 carries for 107 yards. Selman, 3 of 7 for 86 yards and a touchdown. Oliver, 2 catches for 72 yards. And that big 67-yard touchdown. It's as even as the statistics say. The highlights were even. I don't know if we can get any more of an even football game. This has been a tremendous first half.
Woodland Hills up by 2 yards in the total offense, but Parkland up by 1 point in the score. It's like a penny for your thoughts, but you got to put your 2 cents in, right? Someone's making a penny.
Absolutely.
If you had a choice to take the winning number, though, I think 13-12 right now, Parkland would head out of town with that and be very, very happy.
And when you look at this, what the coaching staffs are trying to do at halftime, I'm not sure that anybody makes any drastic changes because this has gone pretty much according to form. Woodland Hills is running the ball effectively, throwing when they need to. Same thing with Parkland. Parkland has had the one big play on offense. Woodland Hills has had 1 big play on offense and 1 on special teams. They both had a long drive that they punctuated with a touchdown. It's as even a game as you can imagine between 2 very well-coached and very well-performing football teams today.
Well, there's a potential big play lurking on every play, and that's the nice thing about this game is you don't know when someone's going to burst through the hole, go for a long drive, and we've had some great passing so far. Someone particularly has been on target all night.
Absolutely.
And now back to the ubiquitous Jed Donahue.
Nice words. How you doing? There it is, the Kissing Tower over at Christmas Candy Lane and Hershey. And here come the Wolverines out of the locker room, and I'm sure that George Novak was talking a little bit about goals throughout all of the summer workouts. That extra lap dates back to last year at this time, and the slop from Jamar Brittingham and the Chamonix took them out. Those are 2 brave souls right there. Everybody just kind of created their own snow pile there. They cleared most of the bleachers out. Here comes Parkland, the Trojans, out of the field. Well, we were hoping to see the big players make the big plays, and so far, so good.
I believe as advertised, but as they say in those really bothersome information or infomercials, but wait, there's more, and there will be some more. We've said in the first 3 games the team that can run the football most effectively in the second half is going to win, or the team that can throw most effectively. They've both done it very well.
There's the viewer comment line in the 717 area code 730-6004, or you can get online as well at PCNTV.com.
Or you don't have to. You can go either way.
Sit back and enjoy. There's Chris Morgan, who had a good first half. What are his numbers? You've got him 14 carries at 107, and the thing that really impresses me, and Steve, will start with you, is I just love the second effort on this young man.
Yeah, again, his balance after he gets hit, you'll see him stumbling forward, and a lot of times stumbles don't look so good. Chris Morgan's stumbles look like 3 or 4 or 5 yards every time, so even when he's hit, he keeps moving forward. At 180 pounds, he has surprising power.
And on the other side, you got Scott, 14 rushes for 96 yards and 2 TDs so far. A lot of those yards coming in that 61-yard jaunt, and he was saddled most of the rest of the half with a lot of attention. But he is like a guy who's ready to burst on any given play.
He needed 94 yards to go to the 4th on the all-time list. And let's eavesdrop in on midfield right now and see what the captains are finding out for the second half.
Okay, gentlemen, good half. Options yours. What do you want to do? See the ball. What goal would you like to defend? All right, turn your back to the goal. All right, guys, bring it and shake hands, guys. Bring it and shake hands. Have a good half, guys.
Well, I mentioned to you, one of the keys to this game, Woodland Hills plays a lot of guys, just one, offense, defense. They don't do a 2-platoon system with a lot. And we were just talking about Ryan Mundy right there. He's got the punt return of 49 yards for a touchdown. This guy is, again, one of the top defensive back prospects in the country. Michigan or the University of Pittsburgh. Michigan's really been in on him for a long time. He's just a dynamic performer, and really a simple play last week in the snow in Altoona. I was on the sideline for this. It's just a simple slant-in pattern, but really some unbelievably tough conditions. He catches the football. The next play, Morgan is in for a touchdown. Game, set, match. Woodland Hills coming here.
You talk about bad conditions, and we'll harken back to the Wolverina. It is known for having some pretty dicey field conditions at times. Woodland Hills likes it that way. I know last year it was a difficult proposition for everyone involved in the Quad A final. One of the keys for George Novak, he said, from the moment they started practice this year, forget about last year, it's all about this season. They've played in some bad conditions, and I think have learned from last season that everybody on the football field that night is playing in the same conditions.
A couple of notes on Morgan. Obviously, with success in the postseason, his name is now getting around in Division I circles. He has an offer from the University of Akron. Akron has a great relationship with the Woodland Hills program. One of their recent players, Brandon Payne, who's an all-MAC player and is one of the 4 Division I rushing backs. The others are Craig Thomas to Michigan State, Melvin Cobbs to Rutgers, Gerald Thompson to Pitt. And Morgan, this week, Pitt and Penn State were in on Monday of this week to Woodland Hills to discuss maybe his future there. So he's very much on the radar screen now. And
the way that he runs and his build is very MAC-like, listed at 6'1" and about 185, and certainly is one of those kids that has a body that can get bigger in the weight room and just with maturity.
And Mike Conti talked with George Novak about Chris Morgan before the game, and here's what his take on the whole situation is.
First goal was to win the Quad East title, which is very difficult with Penn Hills and Central Catholic in there and Baldwin. We have some pretty tough teams, and to win the WPIL, but to beat some good opponents, Gateway, Bethel Park, and North Hills has a good football team this year. And, Altoona would have had a good football team. So, to get here is a great tribute to these young men. We have 3 starters back on offense, 3 on defense, so a lot of the guys were playing JV last year, and that's a remarkable year for guys not only having that many starters back.
And they kick it out of bounds, and that's going to be Woodland Hills football, 1st and 10 at the 35. See if we can revisit the Woodland Hills offense here. We'll put them up as soon as we can. Real quick, let's go down to the side and Mike Conti get an idea of what kind of field conditions. It seems optimum. It's cold, but it's really a fast track here.
Yeah, it really is, Jen. In fact, it's so cold, the field is actually kind of froze. So this is as close to maybe an artificial surface as you can get here. The wind is not a factor. The only thing that could be a factor here in the second half, temperature. It's down into the teens now, so maybe stone hands will be a factor here in the second half.
We started at 30 degrees only about an hour and a half ago, so it gives you an idea what kind of tumble temperatures have done as Selman drops back to throw on the first play of the half and almost intercepted by Pinchak, stepping in front of Ryan Mundy.
Well, they got what they wanted. They got Ryan Mundy isolated on Pinchak man-to-man. It was the only deep pattern there, and he's wide open all by himself, but a great job by Pinchak picking off the pass. It was a little bit underthrown by Selman.
A little more air, and Mundy might be off to the races right there.
That's probably the only pass all night that I think Selman has really misthrown.
I was just about to say that, Gary, that of all the throws that he's made, that was, and that wasn't a bad one, but it was a little underthrown, and a good break by Pinchak.
His passing rating is 159. Here comes Morgan's first carry of the second half to the 40 and a gain of 5.
It's a nice play on 2nd and 10 because now it opens up the playbook a little bit more on 3rd and 5. And it's a simple play, and he follows Yezevich, the lead blocker.
And again, it's that little slant they've been running all night long, and they're getting nice yardage off that every time they run it.
Again, this offensive line for Woodland Hills. Phil Hall, Josh Bannister, Marty Coyne, Sperduto. Here comes Morgan, second effort. Not much chance there on 3rd and 5, and he's a couple of yards shy.
Mike
and again, yep. And Gaida is also in on the stop. He's had a solid game out of that linebacker spot for Parkland.
You see on the replay with the second effort, but there you see 43 Heist come in and stop that second effort that has been Morgan's bread and butter.
So Woodland Hills will be forced to punt.
And now Parkland's got to call timeout, or else they'd be called for an illegal substitution. Now we see one of the near officials throwing the flag, and I think it may be an illegal substitution. The call has to be made regardless of making the timeout. And it's going to be first down Woodland Hills.
Those are the kind of penalties that'll drive you crazy.
The Ben Hogan hat may not be long on the head of Rob Meslowski after that. Are they going to give him the timeout?
Let's see.
Dead ball. Illegal substitution. In the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
We see so many of those over the last couple of years, and that'll drive the head coach absolutely crazy, and that's a first down for Woodland Hills.
And we've seen 3 or 4 of those this weekend. More of those this weekend I ever remember seeing in any past championships.
Sometimes it's the big plays that can change momentum. Sometimes it's the little ones. We'll see if this one makes a difference, because that's a big call.
Selman going to drop. That's pretty good protection, looking down for Mundy, and overshoots everything.
Same exact play they ran a moment ago where he had him isolated out there, and this time overthrew him.
Pinchak was with him all the way, guys.
Put more air under the ball, but Pinchak step for step with Mundy every time. He's doing a great job out there coverage.
Yeah, we talked both amongst ourselves and during this broadcast about Parkland's front line has been one of the keys to them, and yet it's been, I think, their defensive secondary that has been very, very strong and has them still leading by 1.
Some of the Woodland Hills coaches. Here's Yezevich. He moves the pile across midfield to about the 48-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and about 7 coming back. There's Yezevich, number 35, at the bottom of that pile.
Shane Schneider in for Parkland on the tackle, along with 25, Adam Atea.
You know, it's interesting tonight so far. Woodland Hills has not shown a penchant for wanting to throw the short pass. When they throw for the bunch. Here's a chance right here with 3rd, relatively long yardage, to look for something maybe short across the middle.
throws on the run. Yezevich, good catch, but steps out short of a first down to about the 45-yard line. And good pursuit and coverage there from Mike Heist, their outside linebacker for Parkland, and Woodland Hills is going to be forced to punt.
And look at the Parkland coaching staff on the other side after we see this replay.
Travis Decker was bringing the heat.
Coaching staff making sure that the punt coverage team gets in there.
Rosenblatt to the 25-yard line. He's a 5'10 junior. There you see him, Brandon Rosenblatt, and there's the head coach of the Trojans, that being Rob Milosky. Well, they ducked out of that substitution penalty, and their defense held in there. I think we've got another flag down. Personal foul against Woodland Hills. So this is a big break for Parkland here. I'm not sure where it is. We'll see if we can pick it up, guys.
We're going to take a look right here at the. It's after the play, obviously, and
I don't think it's there. It might be someplace else. Well, the flag also, I think, was thrown further upfield.
It's up near the 43, not the ball was. We'll find out right here. Here it is.
During the return, we have a personal foul on the black team. 15-yard penalty. It'll be tacked on at the end of the run, first down.
That's Richard Campbell, the referee here. So this will take the ball all up near the 40-yard line. First and 10 for Parkland. Pretty good field position.
And I don't think after that call he's going to get his Woodland Hills letter for the year.
A 61-yard run by Austin Scott from similar field position to start the game. Scott's got both Parkland touchdowns, a 14-yard run and a 61-yard run on the game's first play. He's got 50 on the year in his first carry of the second half, and Woodland Hills contains that to about a 2 or 3 yard pickup.
Everybody's talked about Scott and Morgan, about the big play aspects of both of these offenses, and the touchdowns have been scored on big plays. If you take away the 4 scores, this has been a game played inside the hash marks and big time in the trenches. There's a lot of great hitting and blocking going on.
Now that's the ugliest 4 yards you're probably ever going to see. Watch the last 2 yards he gets right here. Just pushing him forward off the tackle. Second down and 6 yards to go.
Well, it disputes any rumors. He can run tough. They give it up to Pinchak. Quick hitter has 5 and a first down. Give it 6 to the 49-yard line.
It's enough for the first down.
Gotta love the handoff by Sirfas here. Just stepping away. Almost a handoff like an afterthought. Watch this. Just a quick handoff. Does a nice job of running out the fakes. Good job of picking his way through again. Pinchak, a solid runner.
Give that Parkland offensive line a lot of credit.
66 Sean McKenna with a great block on that play.
So they move it to midfield, first and 10. Phil Sirfas, he's a junior quarterback. They hand it off to Scott, trying to get to the outside. Nothing doing. This season really wrapped him up. It's Ryan Mundy. Got a player hurt for Woodland Hills. That's Jaquan Leach.
Let's see, Ryan.
He's all right. He's holding his knee. Somebody dinged it, and he got up, fortunately.
Ryan Mundy with a tackle on Austin Scott. You think you might see that on EA Sports in about 5 years?
Might see that in some bowl game in a few years.
Yeah.
It is funny in the fifth area. It's glad to see somebody. He got a helmet in the knee and was really favoring it. He was down. Brandon Short of McKeesport is the first to appear in the PIAA championships to go to a Super Bowl. Brandon played the 1994 championship in that epic drama. Gary, you were on the sideline with Aaron Harris there.
That was the greatest hit that I've ever seen in my life. Aaron Harris about to cross the goal line and all of a sudden got stood up at full speed by Brandon Short. And Jed, we all just kind of grabbed our breath at that point. It was the best hit we ever saw.
It's hard to believe this is the 15th year of this tournament. It's growing by leaps and bounds. Hershey has done a great job creating a bowl atmosphere here. And we got a great game brewing here in the third quarter. 7-11 and counting to go. As you look at Sirfas, who's looking at 3rd and 6. The motion man is Smolzinski. As Searfoss back, flags are down.
Illegal shift.
He's under pressure, and he's going to get hit and dropped at about the 47-yard line. Negligible gain, maybe a yard, and it looks like Mundy is there on the tackle again, and Searfoss getting up favoring an ankle.
I think they have a shift on the near side of the line, but there's also a flag toss from the far side. We'll have to see if they both officials saw the same thing.
Yep. I think you take the down here and make them punt.
Absolutely.
Here it is.
We have an illegal formation on the offense, illegal shift on the offense. Both penalties are declined. It'll be 4th down.
And 6 from the 46-yard line, and here comes the punting unit for Parkland onto the field.
Yeah, with 6:57 left to play in the 3rd quarter in a 1-point game, this is the correct decision. You want to play field position and let your defense, who have played very, very well so far tonight, make something happen with Woodland Hills deep in their own territory.
And from the Steve Bowen School of Coaching, don't give a big play offense another play to play.
Thank you.
Well, the last time they punted, Mundy took it in from 49 yards.
This is only the 4th punt of the game.
And a fair catch called for, and Woodland Hills will take over at the 17-yard line.
Today's championship telecast is made possible by Pennsylvania cable companies, which carry PCN on their channel lineup. If you enjoy watching high school sports on TV, be sure to thank your local cable company for supporting Pennsylvania's championship network and giving these high school athletes a much-deserved statewide audience.
Well, there's a developing storyline on the Parkland side with Searfoss being attended to by the trainers.
Working that left ankle pretty hard over there. Looks like he's okay. I actually think
he got stepped on in there. But we'll see. Here comes Chris Morgan. Morgan bouncing to the outside and gets to the 20-yard line. A gain of 2, but he was pinned at the line of scrimmage and still managed to get out of there.
That's a gain of 2, but a whole lot of 2. We'll see it on the replay.
Watch this hit, though, by Mike Heisty at number 43, the linebacker. Here he comes. All of a sudden, Heist comes up, and watch this whack.
Well, both backs knew that the going was going to get tough.
Here comes Heist one more time.
Well, you don't play linebacker any place without being tough, and you don't play running back in the quad east of District 7 without being able to take as well as you give.
Morgan trying to get ahead of steam, but again, Parkland front, Cody Decker. Also in on the stop for the Parkland defense that time looks to be Travis Decker. Mike Heist is also there.
See it again, show a little misdirection and come straight back. The line plugs in a hurry one more time.
Not surprising, this stadium in the middle of an entertainment complex that has an amusement park. But this game, the score and the line play has really gone up and down like the roller coaster. And right now it seems like Parkland is getting a little bit better at the line play.
Blitz is coming, he gets it away, and Mundy can't hang on at the 31, and Woodland Hills can't convert on 3rd and 5, and they're going to be forced to punt. Pretty good play by Selman. Mundy it's a cold night. Mike Conti says we dropped into the high teens, and this is what happens on nights like that.
Big time rush by Travis Decker, 85, but those are the plays that George Novak has come to expect from Ryan Mundy.
Someone said you got to put the ball away before you start to run, and Mundy just a little quick trying to look downfield, didn't quite have possession of the ball.
Pretty good kick. Great roll all the way to the 41-yard line.
Absolutely.
Parkland is in Lehigh County in Orfield, Pennsylvania, north of Allentown. First time a District 11 team has made it here in Quad A. We saw Allentown Central Catholic here. They won state championships, I believe, in 1998 and 1993. There have been others as well. They've been knocking on the door for years, and they finally got through. Here's Austin Scott. He gets out to the 50-yard line. It almost really got out. Again, the Woodland Hills coaches will say if he breaks contain, forget about it. We saw it once tonight. This is a gain of 8.
Good blocking up front again, and he gets inside. He doesn't need much, just a sliver of light, and almost breaks another big one.
Reminiscent of the play we saw with Morgan, a step away from breaking it. These guys really are jaw-dropping good.
Here's Scott again, going for a first down. Well, Austin Scott has incredible numbers and is getting a lot of publicity, justifiably so. But an offensive line is what paves the way. And again, head coach Rob Milewski talked with our Mike Conti about that offensive line before the game.
Yeah, we're proud of what they've done all year for us, not only for him, but Nick Pinchek in the backfield. And, you know, that's kind of been our strategy all year. If teams try to key on Austin, we got some other weapons that we can utilize. But Austin's a special kid. He's blessed with great talent, and we hope that he could showcase some of that today here at Hershey Park.
1st and 10, flags fly again.
You know, you look at some of those kids up front there, like 66 Sean McKenna, the offensive guard, and Matt Saracena, Chris Pisarski, Morgan Thomas, Kyle Palmer. I mean, great guys up front there. A nice big line, too, that averages right in the 250s.
Little movement on the front line moves Parkland back 5 yards, but I'm not sure 5-yard penalties bother either of these. It's kind of like a gnat flying around.
Well, it's kind of like a little detour, just a momentary annoyance.
Really good crowd in here for this Quad A final tonight. We get a look at Saraceno. Handoff, this is going to be Pinchek across midfield back to the original line of scrimmage at the 48. And they're looking at 3rd and 10, or 2nd and 10.
Pinchek with a great first step, too, just stepping north-south. Nothing fancy. Get it right in the middle of the, between the tackle and the guard, right up the gut.
This is a 1,200-yard guy a year ago. They did not have Austin Scott. He ran for 1,900 yards his sophomore year. Blew out his knee playing basketball. Pinchek stepped into the void. He's kind of a jack of all trades and plays everything above average.
And if he has 60 yards tonight, he's over 1,000 tonight again.
Searfoss to McIntosh. Pretty good down and out to the 43-yard line, and a gain of 7.
That's a special catch on that out, because Searfoss put a lot of juice behind this one. That's a dandy catch.
Especially with Shane Fletcher ready to deliver the lumber there. So 3:18 left here in the 3rd quarter, and Parkland is driving, leading 13-12. Big 3rd and 5 coming up.
Talked about Pinchek coming tonight, 940 yards. He's got 70 tonight, so he's over 1,000 for the year.
Here comes Austin Scott, got a hole into the secondary, still winding and dining all the way to the 28-yard line. A first down for Parkland, a gain of 14 yards. He's special. And again, he doesn't panic at the line of scrimmage. He picks the right spot to be in.
Again, you saw the guards pull that time to the right side, open up a nice hole for Scott, and that's all he needs. He did the rest himself.
Great acceleration after the cut, actually after both cuts.
We're going to keep going backward. I mean, the guy's trying to get a turn. He's still always positive yardage.
For our Penn State fans that are watching tonight on PCN and looking at future Nittany Lion, I know you're smiling.
Let's go, D! Let's go, D!
And you ought to be. He is really something. Here's Pinchek, quick hitter up the middle, and Woodland Hills again. What have they been giving up average on the year per game? 7 points?
Yeah, 7 points a game. And that's one of the misconceptions that some folks have had statewide about this Woodland Hills team, because they hit a bit of a slump, albeit they didn't lose any games, but there were a couple of games that were closer than expected, especially the game against Baldwin that finished 4 and 6, but Baldwin has an offensive line just the same size. Some of the scores haven't been as big, but this defense is special.
Also the rivalry intangible that's got to be factored in a lot of these games. Searfoss comes out of there with it, looking, and let's see, it's caught at the 5-yard line. McIntosh with a sensational grab, scoops it right off the turf.
Boy, talk about your great passes, too. Throw it right with the only place it can't be intercepted here. And Searfoss, nice play fake right there. Sets up, throws it downfield, and watch this catch. I mean, it's a little wobbly, but watch this. Comes back, takes it, good coverage. Great catch by McIntosh.
Yeah, superb concentration going down on the ground. The ball's not secured till right there.
A little bit behind him, actually. It was a wobbly duck coming down there, but he caught it.
Austin Scott dives for the touchdown. He just did get over.
Same play as they used for the second touchdown. They use it again here for Scott. Just get him to the outside, student body right, and he goes in.
His 3rd of the night, 51st of the season, and it's 19-12.
See, I can do this math. 51 times 6 is 306 points. I still can't.
Look at that with the left hand. Whoa!
I can't fathom 51 touchdowns by one player in a season.
The little reach in, right to the cone. Here's the conversion, and the kick is up, and it is good. And the number 3 team in the country is in some serious trouble. With 1:59 left in the third, it's 20-12. Scott, 20 carries, 131 yards.
Take a look at it again.
How about this presence right here? Going out of bounds, just put it down, let it where the ref can see it, and there you go.
And good, strong running at the end of that run, too, because he doesn't get a chance to reach that over if he doesn't have great leg drive.
But the catch by McIntosh and the throw on the run by Searfoss set that up. McIntosh with 2 catches in that drive for a total of 45 yards. And that's a big, impressive march by the Trojans of Parkland to grab the 8-point lead. Woodland Hills, though, has shown resiliency. This has been their goal, to get back here. It's a game of redemption for the Wolverines.
8 plays, 58 yards, 4 minutes and 1 second on that one, with Scott finishing over that 5-yard touchdown run, his third of the night. And it's 20-12, rather. Parkland leads.
Remember George Novak talking with Mike Conti, saying, hey, we had 3 guys on each side of the football. How good is that for him to lose all of this talent, like Steve Breston going to Michigan, Kareem Dutrell, and here they're back in the gold medal game again.
We talk when we do the smaller classifications about systems. Woody High has that same type of system, an outstanding junior varsity team.
Rossman, this one stays in bounds. And here comes Chris Morgan. He had a full boat going to the 28-yard line, but stepped out of bounds.
Love what Morgan did there. He stopped. He waited to see the ball go out of bounds. It spun on him. He looked at it, but the whole time he was there picking the ball up, he was looking out ahead, picked his hole, and headed for it quickly. And watch this. Watch his eye. Here he is. He picks it up. Now he's going to put his head up right now. Look at him. Just pauses for a moment and then says, ooh, I see one right there.
Jed, to talk a little bit more about only having 3 starters back on both sides of the ball. Gary and I were talking before the game.
10-yard penalty, first down.
When George Novak took this coaching position, because of the conglomeration of the 3 schools, he had to make some decisions early on, and one of them was to find a system that would work with a lot of different types of kids. He stuck with the system. It's easy to keep going and easy to have continued success when your JV is running the same offense and the same defense year in and year out that your varsity is.
Their most famous player, Jason Taylor, currently playing with the Miami Dolphins. Here comes Morgan trying to get to the outside, but again, Parkland's got good speed and power there, and they limit it to a gain of 2.
Parkland has really picked up their pursuit here in the second half. I thought the first half they're getting worn down a little bit by Woodland Hills, but second half here they've used their speed along the line to really do a much better job establishing themselves along that line of scrimmage.
Good pursuit by Cody Decker, number 70 that time.
Also Mike Glass as well. He's 83. There's Travis Decker, 85. He's had a heck of a night as well. 2nd and 8 for Woodland Hills. Back goes Selman. He's got time. Throws on the run. It's Edwell. Edwell spins out for the first down to the 32-yard line, a gain of 12.
That pass was like the ill-advised 3-point shot that goes in for basketball coaches. I'm sure the Woodland High coaches were going,
nice job of throwing it.
Nice catch.
Yeah, throwing it just a little bit behind again, but a good job of yanking it in that time. James Edwell. Edwell, a senior, 6'2", 189 pounds, wide receiver.
That is a big pickup for Woodland Hills, trailing by 8. Final minute here of the third quarter. Selman back again. Pump fake, and down he goes. Travis Decker's got him at the 28-yard line.
Everybody is going to see the push by the front line. But I got to tell you, if you look at Sean Reed, it was going to be a stutter and go by Mundy. And Reed read it perfectly.
Joe McDaniel just couldn't hold him out.
Yep. See the pump fake, and by the time Mundy was going to get into the clear, there wasn't any clear for Selman.
Joe McDaniel, 203 pounds, 6-footer, but just run over by Decker that time.
It's Selman over the middle. Mundy can't hang on. That pass was hot to handle. He wants interference, but pretty good coverage by Austin Scott. Step for step. And Selman, well, somebody's hurt. It looks like a Parkland player. I don't have a number, so I'm not going to.
Play Mundy and Scott right in the middle of the field. Nice
Cody
job.
Decker down there. Let's go down to Mike Conti and see what he saw. Mike?
Well, what happened was Decker collided with Selman, and I think both players got hurt. Selman came up holding on to his left elbow, and now Decker is down, getting some attention from the Parkland medical staff. They hit pretty hard, and when Selman went down, looked like he hit his elbow on that really hard turf. Remember, the field is kind of frozen here. So Selman will get some water, and Decker will get a look from the Parkland staff as Rob Malowski comes out to check on him. One other injury note, Jed, about Woodland Hills. Shane Fletcher, their wide receiver, came out for a bit. He had twisted his right ankle. The trainer cleared him to come back in the game. He's been in for one play, and now he's back getting it looked at again.
Gary, a lot of times coaches, some will stay on the sideline. In this instance, Rob Malowski comes right out. He wants to know what's how his player is doing. There's the collision. And he got up and down, and some coaches have an opinion on how they like to do that.
Well, you know, a lot of times you let the trainer get out there and take care of their job. I like the fact Malowski came out there, and he was right there talking the whole time to Decker. A very animated conversation, I might add. I can only guess at what they were talking about, but yeah, it just depends on what you like to do. In this case, Malowski out there kind of motivating his player a little bit.
He's one of his main guys. He's the reason they're here, one of them anyway. Selman dropping. Selman in trouble, and Travis Decker spins him down at the 15. Decker with a second sack of the series.
Woodland Hills trying to find someone that can handle Decker right now as he's getting great position on the outside shoulder. And watch this again. This time beats two blockers. 1, 2, and there he is to the quarterback. And Decker is just having a superb game.
And one of them's the best blocking fullbacks in the state of Pennsylvania, that being Yezevich. Travis Decker, only a junior, 6'2", 225. 2 sacks on that, and it's 4th and 28 for Woodland Hills at the end of the third quarter of play. So 12 minutes to go in this one. It's anybody's game. It's 20-12. Parkland on the lead by 8. Austin Scott with 3 touchdown catches. Now, Mike Conti works up at State College and does some talk radio up there, and Austin Scott is generating a lot of phone calls up in Happy Valley, isn't he?
He sure is. And, you know, the thing is, Jed, you look at Penn State's running back situation next year. Larry Johnson, of course, is a senior. He'll graduate. Behind him, it's a little unclear as to what will happen. Mike Gasparotto in there as a backup. They have a few other true freshmen like Tim Shaw, Donnie Johnson, who could be able to play. But there is a feeling, even though Joe Paterno is reluctant to play true freshmen, there is a feeling out there that Austin Scott could step in at Penn State next year and play immediately. When you have the numbers that he has coming out of high school, that would be a hard candidate to ignore.
One thing you know will never get an answer is never ask Joe Paterno, hey, is that freshman going to play? Forget about it. He's not going to answer, which is fine. That's been the way there forever. We'll know when they play Temple as to whether or not he made the cut or not. They almost got that punt. Scott stays away from it. Check that. That's not Brandon Scott down there. That's Rosenblatt, and a pretty good rollout for Woodland Hills all the way back to the 38-yard line.
PCN is well known for covering state government activities, but its public affairs programming also extends to significant Pennsylvania events. For State Farm Show coverage, Gettysburg battlefield walks, factory tours, and of course, Scholastic Sports Finals. Set your cable dial to the home of high school champions. PCN, the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
Delighted to have you on Pennsylvania's Championship Network. Jed Donahue, Gary Sutton, Steve Bowen, Mike Conti, we just heard from down on the sideline, trying to stay warm down there. We got temperatures in the high teens. Here's Austin Scott. Scott trying to get to the outside, tripped up after a gain of about 5 to the 44-yard line.
Wow.
He tripped over his own man, Matt Saraceno, up in front of him. There's Saraceno blocking. Watch, he just kind of trip over the foot here, trying to get on by him.
And still, you just marvel at this kid's abilities.
3,600 yards coming in.
Well, a lot of people have said, well, look at the offensive line or look at the competition. 3,600, 3,600.
Here's Scott again, this time running hard, close to a first down, may have it, depends on the spot, up near the 48-yard line.
One of the things you watch with great backs is the ability to see the field, and that's kind of a price thing. Watch him. Pick your spot, look at the scene, now he says, okay, now, look at just the way he just jets forward.
Yahashua Murray in on the stop for the Wolverines. Second and short, third and short.
With the clock moving here with 10:40 to play, each team has a stud running back. The team that's up 8 can afford to use it now. When the team that's down 8 gets it back, it's a different story.
9 guys in the box.
And he gets to the outside. One man to beat and gone. In the clear. His 4th touchdown from 53 yards out. Austin Scott. Exclamation point, but a flag down at the 45. It's going to stand. It looks like roughing the passer.
You got 9 guys in the box, too tight, and that outside is open. Look at him hit the middle, come to the outside. He finds the crease, and he is heading toward the goal line. What a surge of acceleration from Austin Scott.
Wide receivers, too. You got to give them a lot of credit. They've been making a lot of blocks all year long. And again, you have to contain him. If he gets outside, forget about it.
Personal foul on the defense. The touchdown is good. It'll be half the distance to the goal on the extra point.
How many times you see that though on a third and very, very short, and everybody's expecting to dive, and here comes the guy to the line and then just veers to the outside, and very few people have the ability to veer and make that 90-degree cut like a guy like Austin Scott.
Talking to the coaching staffs beforehand, the keys to victory were pretty simple. Both of them said they need to win the line battle. For the Woodland Hills Wolverines, forget last year, and the other one, maintain Scott. For Parkland, don't forget to throw and control the ball. Parkland's 2 and 3 have come to the fore here in the second half.
Snap down, and that kick is good. Chris Rossman, he is really
well, here it is again. Watch this. Now watch. Into the line. Now watch this veer out.
There's Pinchak. Boom.
That's a 90-degree cut. Not many people can do that quickly.
Now, how about Smolzinski down here, guys? 89, the wide receiver. And again, that's lost a lot of the times when you've got a running team. The wide receivers have to sacrifice. They know they're not going to get a lot of touches. There they are working downfield, and that block is what really sprung him.
Absolutely.
Just kind of a ho-hum night so far for Scott. 4 touchdowns, 23 rushes for 193 yards in this game.
That may move him, guys, to second all time. He needs to be at 4.087. Well, that ain't gonna, yeah, for the year, that's top 3 for season all time.
You see George Novak trying to figure out what we're going to do next. We're down 15 points right now with 10:21 to go in the game. You know, he's averaged 8.4 wins a season since he took over Woodland Hills. What an outstanding record. And again, we mentioned in the Coaches Hall of Fame here in Pennsylvania, a guy who is well-liked and well-respected.
Well, he's going to have trouble getting in there. My math is way off, guys.
Okay.
Sorry.
When you look at this whole tournament, though, you know, it could be the movie The Usual Suspects. You don't get here as often as all of these schools have, with the exception of Parkland and the school we saw, the AA school this afternoon, Seton LaSalle. All the others have a great tradition of playing in the championship game. That speaks an awful lot to the character of the program.
Those other schools like Seton LaSalle have been doing a great job recently of playing in their region pretty well.
Short kick. It's still on the ground. That's a live ball, and Parkland's around it. Let's see.
Looks like Woody High got it, yep.
At the 18-yard line. Bethlehem Catholic beat Parkland in week 1 back on August 31st.
29-28, I believe.
And then they avenged that loss several weeks ago in the District 11 final.
Look at this.
It's a mad scramble down here.
Talk about a scary moment here, and finally jumping on top of it, Woodland Hills.
They're in the deep hole now, down 27-12. With 10:18 remaining.
And now a timeout called by Parkland.
Let's head down to Mike Connie. Mike?
Okay, real quick, Jed. Cody Decker, who got hurt for Parkland on the last series, you saw him have that collision with the Woodland Hills quarterback. He is okay. He has a slight stinger in his right shoulder. It's a reoccurring injury, but he is probable to return to the game.
Good news for Parkland. Their anchor on that defensive front, 6'4", 265.
And now with some obvious passing situations come up, Travis Decker, his brother, who has been just wreaking havoc in that backfield, is a guy they've got to figure out, maybe double team to try to stop.
Well, with 10:18 to play, it's a 15-point game. We've seen the big play capacity of Woodland Hills, but unfortunately for the Wolverines, we haven't seen it since about the 2-minute mark of the first half. A tremendous job here in this second half by the Parkland defense to really bottle up the ground-gaining ability of Morgan and the passing of the Woodland Hills team.
You know, he looked at halftime. Morgan was 14 carries for 107 yards. He's up to 19 carries now, but only 122 yards, only 15 yards this half, and that speaks to exactly what you're talking about, Steve.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, and a drive they've got to have. They go to Chris Morgan, and again, Cody Decker back into the game, as Mike said, probable. Well, he's back, and he makes the play.
Gary, are we seeing rhythm on the defensive line? We talk about offenses being in rhythm. This defensive line looks in tremendous rhythm.
They were getting drummed pretty well early in the first half, and they've really come out. Their quickness so much better this half. Their pursuit so much better. Getting to the ball like sharks to a feeding frenzy at a moment.
Here's Selman, falls down at the 12, and we may have a 15-yard penalty here.
We do. Yeah, that's that. I can't imagine, given who threw the flag and where it was thrown, it could be anything else. It's unfortunate because it certainly didn't look like anything malicious, but you got to hold up on that.
Cody Decker said, "I'm just happy to be back in the game. I'm a little enthusiastic about this," and he goes, "Ah, darn it."
Now when the defense, that's a 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Oh, because it's a dead ball foul, the down counts. That's significant. It's 3rd down instead of 2nd.
So 3rd, let's call it 3, upcoming now for Woodland Hills. And they are running out of outs with 9:48 as you see the time on your screen and counting now. Down by 15. Here's Morgan. Morgan falls forward for the 1st down. He needed the 29. He got to the 30.
Problem is that clock is ticking every moment right now, and you're down 2 big scores at the moment. If you even try to go for 2 at one point in time, and 15 points, it's a tough ladder to climb.
In spite of the fact that the clock stops with the setting of the chains, you would think that there'd be a little bit more urgency on the Woodland Hills offense.
There you go. Woodland Hills located out in Pittsburgh, PA, in Allegheny County. And we won't say out in your area, Steve. Kind of south.
That's right.
South of the balmy part of western Pennsylvania.
Inside handoff that time to Yezevich, and a nice pickup of about 4 yards. But 4 yards ain't going to do it when it takes you 30 seconds to run each play.
Yeah, they got to be moving in and out of that huddle a little quicker.
By the way, Steve, what do you actually call the town that Woodland Hills is in? Is there a name for the town?
That's a real good question.
It's the only question we've asked.
You'll hear about that. The comment line will fill us up on that. Here's Selman back. Blitz is coming. Selman in trouble, and down he goes. That's the 4th sack of the half. This time it's James Hirsch who's in.
Defensive back on the blitz that time. James Hirsch coming dead through. Look at this. Good try at blocking him. Not going to happen as Hirsch just brings him down, grabs him around the waist, and yanks him down.
Hey, Mike Glass, 83. We're seeing a lot of him on screen here. He's getting a lot of push at that defensive end. You saw Decker in there again, and there's Hirsch who just had the sack. 3rd and 18 now for Woodland Hills, and they're going to talk this over.
I have an answer to your question.
Go ahead, Steve.
The mailing address is in Pittsburgh, and we talked about the school districts, Swissvale, Turtle Creek, Braddock, and Churchill, and also Edgewood. It's slightly east of Pittsburgh, and as they would say, it's hard by the Mon. So it's just on the just by the Monongahela River, and a big school, but it is geographically Pittsburghers wouldn't say that it's in Pittsburgh. But, again, the mailing address is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So it's in Pittsburgh unless you're in Pittsburgh.
We hope you're enjoying exclusive live coverage of the 15th annual PIAA Football Championships. And we'd love to hear from you at the Pennsylvania Cable Network here at PCN, 730-6004. They provide coverage of all championship events.
I'd like to thank Steve Bowen for his geographic tour also in Pennsylvania tonight, which has been wonderful.
Mr. Erie there. Only a dusting. You brought the snow with you.
I get
Work with a guy from Erie, gets snowed on the day before the tournament.
I get to much more of the state than just Erie, and while I don't know exactly the name of the community, I do know the mailing.
We're delighted to have you with us throughout this first great championship weekend. And Woodland Hills, Selman in trouble again, and down he goes again. Hirsch is there. Who else?
There you saw Hirsch. You also saw number 25.
Altia.
That was Adam Altia.
Boy, they are just really flying. They're just coming with a vengeance now, smelling the gold medal.
Yeah, I think if they take off their helmets, you'd see that their ears are pinned back because they're just coming with fire in their eyes and stuff in their nostrils this time.
Well, Cody Decker actually flushed him out of the pocket and then let the two finish him off on the blitz.
Rosenblatt will drop back to the 45-yard line. Yezevich, pretty good kick. Rosenblatt just does pick it up before getting swarmed on by Tim Jefferson of Woodland Hills, who's in on the stop. And here comes the Parkland offense. It's been the Austin Scott show tonight.
Watch this hit. Look at Jefferson. Bad time to fumble. Pick it up and say, oh, sorry, chest to chest.
Yeah, the only two people who like that are the Woodland Hills defensive coordinator and the Parkland kid's dentist, because he's going to get some work on Monday.
It's called getting knocked off your pins last I checked. Well, if you're Parkland now, 3 first downs, and this one's a history book.
And I think here comes Pinchak. Big hole, has 5, spins forward for a gain of 9. All the way to the Woodland Hills 44-yard line.
For as special as Austin Scott has been tonight, I think it's the running of Pinchak that has really made the difference in this game. It keeps Woodland Hills off balance. They want to control Scott. That leaves Pinchak open. Then when they start to key a little bit on Pinchak, bam, here comes the home run hitter, number 33.
And they continue to do some great trap blocking up front right now. The whole second half, Parkland's been all over the offensive line.
Here comes Scott. Scott gets to the outside, has a big hole, and into the secondary, into the 30-yard line. He's got 15 more. That could put him over 200 yards.
That will put him over 200 yards easy. Watch Scott, just inside and outside, just looking constantly. Test the inside, nothing. Looks to the outside, and now they sprint around the corner, and there he goes.
And there's that cut at full speed you talked about before, Gary, that distinguishes him from some of the other folks.
Well, he's wearing 33. His next game here in Hershey will be the big 33 in July of next year.
Ken, you talked about the outside people doing a great job. Wide receiver Smolzinski doing another good job blocking that last time, too.
Here's Pinchak for a gain of 1. And again, tick, 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 tick on that clock. 6:15 and counting.
You need time to get 2 possessions if you're Woodland Hills. That's what you're thinking right now. And again, not relying on the passing all that much is going to be very, very tough to change that character so drastically here with such a short period of time left.
There's your time remaining.
We found out that Woodland Hills is actually located officially in Churchill.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Churchill Downs.
They'll tell you.
Yeah.
Here comes Scott. Again, patient in the hole. Gets to the outside. He's still going. Now he's working the inside. Look at this. To the 10. All the way to the 5. Oh, it takes your breath away. A gain of 25. Stop, start, cut back. A little bit of everything there.
This is a guy who's gained over 3,600 yards, 50, however many touchdowns now, 52. And the whole package to me happens right here. Right here on this run. Stop, couple of stutter steps, keeps going, cuts back at full speed. Oh, my goodness.
232 yards on 25 carries.
Watch the feet. Watch his feet. Their feet never stop moving. They're dancing. They just barely hit the ground. Dancing again, pulling away, breaking a tackle, and then almost going in.
Here comes Scott. Ball pops out. Let's see. It's a free ball into the end zone, and it's recovered by Woodland Hills for the touchback.
Wow.
People are human, and the recovery in there, let's see, is going to be made by Woodland Hills, and that's going to be made Kashif Henderson.
Watch this. Ball just gets knocked up in the air. Nice tackle there by number 47. That was Leach. Yeah.
Well, Everybody's human. He's had a perfect night up until then.
Well, at least a glimmer of hope right now if you're a Woodland Hills fan. A chance to come back down. 5:09 to go, though. You've got to make up 2 scores in a short period of time and hope that Parkland doesn't get a first down.
They had success throwing the football a little bit in the first half. They've tried to run it here in the second half. They might have to go against Hoyle and get back to the throw, but that leaves Parkland with the ability to rush the passer, and they've done that quite well.
Here comes Morgan, and again, they're just not built to bring a 15-point deficit down. You know, that picture we had of Rob Milowski, he's talking, you know, he's probably grimacing a little bit as we see Morgan's run again, and there's just not much room there as the defensive line and the front 7 of Parkland is playing well. But you think about this, Scott fumbles at the 3-yard line after he got 2 from the 5, and then they had a situation where they were goal to go inside the 5 in the first half and got turned away on downs.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking about. This game would be over otherwise, but Woodland Hills is still alive. Barely, though, on 2nd and 6. Here comes Mundy. Mundy is tripped up at the 29-yard line.
What a wonderful tackle that time by piaa again.
And Mundy's shaken up. I don't know if he landed on his elbow or on the football. We'll see it here on the replay. Well-designed play and well blocked. There's the trip up. Oh, and he landed on his elbow, on his right elbow.
Jack got a big hole, has 5, has 10 to the 10-yard line. Make it 13 total. He's running extremely well. Again, this is a dynamic duo out of this Parkland backfield.
Woodland Hills is number 3 in the country. What's it say about this Parkland team?
What's it say, too, about Bethlehem Catholic, which beat this team in overtime, 29-28, and was in the hallway in a big-time street fight before losing the District 11 final. They knocked off Central Dauphin, which was number 1 in most polls in the state leading up to that game in the first round of the states. The District 3 champ. Here's Pinchek again, and he may have lost a yard.
See the clock ticking down, 2:47 to go.
Parkland's personnel, there's never been an issue. They've always had it. But now they get to the gold medal game. They've taken the next step now. They're going to open the season next year with what many believe one of the top 3 teams in the state preseason, Cumberland Valley. They begin a 2-year series next year at Parkland.
There's Mundy.
Ryan Mundy. His high school career will close tonight. We'll see him in the Big 33. I'm going out on a limb and saying he and Scott will be back next summer. I go for the tough ones, guys.
Always the big prediction.
Here's Scott on a carry. Breaks free. And inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line.
It was great pursuit by the Woodland Hills defense.
Yezevich, who's had a marvelous career here at Woodland Hills, and I think is a Big 33 candidate as well.
Yeah, but watch the speed. The pursuit's there. It's just the speed of Austin Scott. A lot of people are going to forget that it was 13-12 Parkland at halftime, and it was a very, very even game. And it's been the job done up front by the Parkland offense and defensive lines that have changed this game.
3rd and 6. Here comes Scott. Scott fighting. And let's see. Touchdown! Parkland. Scott is in for the 5th time.
Wow. Just worming his way, dancing and weaving all at that left side. Watch this. Just an athlete.
Several generations are going to try and chase down this touchdown record now. 53 career touchdowns, and that seals the deal with 129 left.
28 rushes tonight, 250 yards for that young man, and 5 TDs.
He fumbled down there, but the coaches put it right back to him, and he cashes in.
I can still do that math, and I am still stunned by 53 touchdowns.
And pretty good hold.
Could have been 54 had it not been the fumble.
Hirsch with a good hold, and the kick by Rossman is good. 34-12. Austin Scott showing a little bit of the power game, and again, look at that thrust by that offensive line. He just kind of picks his way, and again, the patience he has at the line of scrimmage. You just don't teach this kind of stuff right here.
Watch him get behind Morgan Thomas, 74 there, too. Thomas is doing a good job of leading, and he's doing a good job of pacing in behind Thomas.
Many times you get a back that has tremendous vision. Many times you get one that'll have great speed or great cutting ability. You get 3,600 yards and 50-some touchdowns when you put all those together on a 6'2", 210-pound body.
This tournament's 15 years old. It's seen great players over the years. Gary Collins, Kyle Brady. Now add Austin Scott, and I'm not trying to leave out all the other great ones who've been through here, the C.B. West dynasty, the Berwick dynasty. Rob Milosky, second year here at Parkland, has taken them to the summit. Lehigh Valley, where they've got such an incredible tradition of football, and they have struck gold tonight at Quad A with this Parkland team. They have been impressive.
And we've seen a lot of big plays that we thought that we would, but the turning point in this game is the defensive thrust by Parkland. They absolutely shut down Woodland Hills. It was an even game at halftime. 210 yards total for Woodland Hills.
Well, 5 touchdowns for Austin Scott, 250.
He averages 250 a game, and right there you see it again. He does it one more time with 250 tonight. And Austin Scott, 5 touchdowns, 28 carries. Tell you what, averages 10.9 yards a carry. It might be a little under his average tonight. It might be the only thing he did wrong this evening.
Well, his first carry set the ultimate statement as a 61-yard touchdown run on the game's first play. We were just settling in. And Selman's going to call a timeout with 1:29 left. Let's take this opportunity to go visit with Mike Conti. Mike?
Jed, not to overdo it on Scott, but let's look at the steal that Penn State is getting here in Scott. I was talking to national recruiting expert Phil Gross on Wednesday. He indicated to me that Scott was not really heavily recruited by a lot of Division I schools. Many were turned off by that injury. Of course, he missed his entire junior year rehabbing the injury. He hurt himself playing basketball. But in actuality, if you look at the numbers, he had a very, very good sophomore year and ended up having a very, very good senior year. Scott chose Penn State because they stuck with him through the injury. And as a result, Penn State is going to get a running back that may not be getting a whole lot of national pub, but statewide, boy, how can you ignore what he has done this season?
Well, I think the word's out now nationally with 53 touchdowns, Mike, but I understand exactly where you're saying. And Penn State's loyalty through injury, and we see the Marines over there.
Well, you better watch it now. Maybe they're recruiting for their university. Do the Marines have a university?
I'm not certain.
Got the Air Force Academy.
There's a fumble, and I think Parkland is on it. Yes, they are. Ball is recovered by Nick Gaida. 1:24 left, and they can touch a knee, and that'll be it.
This signal goes out to 3 million homes across the state, and whatever region in the state you live in, you have some numbers in your head if you're a high school football fan. For me, up in northwestern Pennsylvania, Tim Colicchio scored 38 touchdowns for Cathedral Prep in his senior year. Brian Milne rushed for 2,000 yards in his senior year. There's Mungrove from Stroudsburg, so the people in the Northeast know about him. LeVar Arrington. Everybody has stud players. This performance, both tonight and this season by Austin Scott, it doesn't compute, I guess.
Defies normalcy, if you will, or even greatness.
It defies greatness from everybody else's point of view.
Well, the touchdown record set in 1991 by Jason Killian of Schuylkill Haven. That's a little chilly.
Oh, and he says, there you go. He gets rid of the hat finally.
And it's a good thing that he had Searfoss playing quarterback, because that was the biggest wounded duck thrown by a Parkland person all night.
He's going to want that hat back, though. Yep, I thought so. That's not going anywhere. That's going up on a shelf somewhere. That's a good luck hat.
And the coach is making sure everybody's on the sideline. Everybody's staying put here. Keep your discipline to the end of the game.
Well, Woodland Hills, I mean, this is their second consecutive year now to the gold medal game. And they've run into a red-hot team yet again. This team will always be there, though, in the western part. They are the one that everybody's shooting for. And George Novak and this team, they did not take a backseat to anybody. And now the first-team offense going out to a curtain call over there for Parkland. As you see Mike Collins talking right over with Rob Milosky.
There you go.
There's Austin Scott.
Last time, there you see Austin Scott off the field, 5 TDs tonight, and his teammates, a happy bunch of Parkland players.
When you have a stud, your key is to get him the football. The other team's key is to stop him. In the first half, it was kind of even Steven. It was a little more Austin than even in the second half.
Pitch back. This is Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt to about the 25-yard line. They stay in bounds. And we should have time for about one more play here.
Well, if I remember my Greek mythology, the Trojans sneaked in to Troy. But, this group didn't sneak up on anybody tonight. They came in here and laid down the gauntlet right away. Went through a little dead period there in the second quarter, but they have just taken over the line of scrimmage the whole second half.
And all season long, it's been a team that has won the games that they were supposed to win in the style that they were supposed to win, because no one doubted the quality of this team. But they also slugged it out with the big boys in the eastern part of the state come playoff time. This is no fluke, well-deserved, and that's going to be it.
This is it. Parkland wins the state championship. Their first trip here, and there he is, Rob Molosky, in his second year, and the Trojans have struck gold with an impressive performance here in the PIAA 2002 4A championship.
The best part of the game.
Here comes the bath again for Rob Molesky.
Oh, that looks cold. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
But
watch the throw here. We're gonna rate this throw.